Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Okay, Parth, take me to Bhagavad Gita 7:14. So, overcoming difficulties. We're all dealing with difficulties the material world has to offer. Not one of us is difficulty-less. What are some? There's threefold material miseries. So what are some of them? I'm watching one right now unfold before me in the background. What's that? Oh yeah, you guys are watching it too. Yeah, natural miseries, like it's too cold, it's too hot, blizzard. This is not a blizzard, it's yeah, miseries of the body and the mind. Those are called adhyatmic. Adhidaivic are the natural elements we can't control: cyclones, hurricanes, blizzards, heat strokes, things like that, earthquakes. And then there's one more. What? That's a universal misery that they're all like kind of pulling you towards. It's like that's the universal misery that they're all pulling you towards. But there's one more. I'll give you a hint. If it's not your own body making you miserable, who else? Yes, someone else, maybe a little living entity like a mosquito or a spider bite or an alligator, something, giving you a rough time. Usually another jerky human being. That happens a lot too. So these are, some of the material miseries that we all have to face in the material world, no matter what. If you're here, you got to face it. But if that is the case, it's almost not very encouraging that this is well, you told me we're going to work through difficulties. We just pretty much told me as long as I'm here, there's going to be difficulties. Yes. But if we shift our angle of vision, we're going to learn that these actually don't have to be seen in such a negative light, actually. How to see the difficulties with a positive vision or a positive angle of vision. That's what this little workshop is going to be about. So, repeat after me. Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Mayam Metam Tarantite Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Mayame Tamtarantite. Anyone else? Daivi Hesha Gunamai Mama Maya Duratyaya Mameva Ye Prapadyante Mayame Tamtarantite. Okay. Repeat after me. This divine energy of mind. Now, this is talking about the material nature. The three modes of material nature that are causing us all these miseries, actually. So this Krishna mentions this in Bhagavad Gita. But that's what this divine energy of mind he's talking about. This divine energy of mind, consisting of the three modes, of material nature is difficult to overcome. But those who have surrendered unto me can easily cross beyond it. Good. So let's go down to the purport here. Let's see. How long is the purport part? See if there's you know what? Just a page. And what's 715? Is the purport shorter? It's a lot of reading. Nope, way longer. All right, so let's do a little bit of purport of 714. Okay, the Supreme Personality of Godhead has innumerable energies, and all these energies are divine. Although the living entities are part of his energies and are therefore divine, due to contact with material energy, their original superior power is covered. Being thus covered by material energy, one cannot possibly overcome its influence. As previously stated, both the material and spiritual natures, being emanations from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, are eternal. The living entities belong to the eternal superior nature of the Lord, but due to contamination by the inferior nature, matter, their illusion, is also eternal. The conditioned soul is therefore called Nitya Bada, or eternally conditioned. No one can trace out the history of his becoming conditioned at a certain date in material history. Consequently, his release from the clutches of material nature is very difficult, even though that material nature is an inferior energy, because material energy is ultimately conducted by the supreme will, which the living entity cannot overcome. Inferior material nature is defined herein as divine nature due to its divine connection and movement by the divine will. Being conducted by divine will, material nature, although inferior, acts so wonderfully in the construction and destruction of the cosmic manifestation. The Vedas confirm this as follows: Mayam tu prakritim vidyan mayinam tu maheshwaram. Although Maya is false or temporary, the illusion is false or temporary, the background of Maya is the supreme magician, the personality of Godhead, who is Maheshvar, the supreme controller. Let me see, how much longer is it? Yeah, what do you guys think? Yeah, we can finish it?
Yeah.
Go ahead, who wants to read next? Go ahead, Brittany.
Another meaning of guna is rope. It is to be understood that the conditioned soul is tightly tied by the ropes of illusion. A man bound by his hands and feet cannot free himself. He must be helped by a person who is unbound. Because the bound cannot help the bound, the rescuer must be liberated. Therefore, only Lord Krishna or his bona fide representative, the spiritual master, can release the conditioned soul. Without such superior help, one cannot be freed from the bondage of material nature. Devotional service or Krishna consciousness can help one gain such release. Krishna, being the Lord of illusory energy, can order this insurmountable energy to release the conditioned soul. He orders this release out of his causeless mercy on the surrendered soul and out of his paternal affection for the living entity, who is originally a beloved son of the Lord. Therefore, surrender unto the lotus feet of the Lord is the only means to get free from the clutches of the stringent material nature.
Going, a great reader.
The words Mam Eva are also significant. Mam means unto Krishna, Vishnu, only, and not Brahma or Shiva. Although Brahma and Shiva are greatly elevated and are almost on the level of Vishnu, it is not possible for such incarnations of Rajaguna, passion, and Tamaguna, ignorance, to release the conditioned soul from the clutches of Maya. In other words, both Brahma and Shiva are also under the influence of Maya. Only Vishnu is the master of Maya. Therefore, he can alone give release to the conditioned soul. The Vedas confirm this in the phrase Vam Eva Viditva, or freedom is possible only by understanding Krishna. Even Lord Shiva affirms this liberation can be achieved only by the mercy of Vishnu. Lord Shiva says, Mukti Pradata Sarvasam Visnur Eva Na Samsaya. There is no doubt that Vishnu is the deliverer of liberation for everyone.
Jai. So that's right there. There's your easy way out. Surrender unto Krishna. And but the more difficult part is, well, like, how do I do that? You've all kind of come across this knowledge before. This isn't like new to anyone. Surrendering unto the personality of Godhead. But the how, that's the difficult part. There's so many people, and even in the devotional sphere, there's so many devotee angles giving you so many different directions on what that looks like. And then also the biggest danger is when you start concocting your own process. Prabhupada was mentioning, we're tied by our hands and feet in the material world, and we got to be rescued by someone. We're not in a position where we're like, I'm going to figure this out. It's like a toddler. It's like Caius trying to go out there and figure out the world all by himself without his parents' direction. It's a bad idea. Thank you, Caius. So he knows that that's a bad idea. But we don't seem to know, even though we're spiritual toddlers, we don't seem to know that going at it alone on our own strength of limited intellect, that this is a bad idea. We need to take guidance, actually. So 715 is what? It gives you a little contrast, what the opposite of surrendering to Krishna looks like. You can go down. English. Those miscreants, you can repeat after me. Who are grossly foolish, lowest among mankind, whose knowledge is stolen by illusion, and who partake of the atheistic nature of demons, do not surrender unto me. Actually, this is now demon in the Vedic conception does not mean horns. It doesn't mean like sharp teeth and they're going to feast on your soul. Even though associating with personalities like this may like be like a vacuum suck out of a lot of the positivity out of your life. But demon means one who doesn't give any thought at all towards the laws of and wills of God, and just says, no. Like, for instance, I actually studied Satanism at one point. I revealed this to everyone on Sunday, and my wife was kind of shocked by one of the things I said, actually. But but do you know the satanic credo? They have like this is our motto, satanic motto. Yeah, do what thou will. Rich, do whatever you want. It's fine. Just figure whatever you want, you got it. And actually, this is the atheistic nature of demons. And this will lead you into a lot of trouble, actually. Because we're bound up. And by our illusions, and if we perpetuate chasing the illusions over and over and over again, they all end. Sand slipping through your fingers. Any analytical, intelligent person knows that, yes, my temporary sense pleasure will end here. And then what's left is ultimately we're left with no satisfaction, and then we have to die and actually come back and do it again and again and again and again, over and over. And we've done this for eternity, actually. That's actually the sad case. We've been doing, Prabhupada is saying, we can't trace out when we got illusioned, when it happened in material history. We have no idea how long we've been doing this for. And we have no idea how long we're going to continue doing this, but Prabhupada gave the key. Surrender unto Krishna. And what he said, or his bona fide representative. Now, some people are so fortunate, like the associates of Lord Chaitanya 500 years ago, where they had Krishna themselves come and like liberate them all. Give them like instructions out of here and like a process and a joyful experience. But we can hear about it. It's great. But at least as far as I know, on this planet, there's no one operating as the post of Krishna saying like, here you go, like, let's go. But I know multiple and many bona fide spiritual masters, at least in this movement, and I'm even seeing in other Gaudiya movements, that can absolutely take you out of so many miserable conditions. And I'm confident that if we follow and dedicate our lives living as they prescribe, and all the while are cultivating our relationship with God under their guidance, that yeah, we're out of here. No more material miseries, at least in the next life. But even here, you can see advanced devotees are happy even here. And it's a magical, mystical experience where you can witness that there are devotees actually happy. Like, you meet a lot of them who are just joyous to live how Krishna prescribes. So this is a verse from the Bhagavatam. Now, you're not going to find it on that website. Maybe switch the thing to me real quick. So this is from the Bhagavatam, 10:14:8. See if I can zoom it in for you. I'm not very tech savvy. Whoa, got it. All right. Tate nukampam susamikshamano Bunjana evatma kritam vipakam Ridvagvapur bir vidadan namaste Jiveta yo mukti pade sadaya bhak Bhagavatam 10:14:8. This is a very, very famous verse. And this was actually spoken by Lord Brahma after he thought he would challenge Krishna's power in what's called the Brahma Vimohan Leela, where he would kind of pull a prank on Krishna and his friends, and then Krishna pulled a reverse prank on him and completely bewildered him. And then when he saw what was going on, he realized that he was in trouble, and that his boss, who helped him create the universe long ago, which he didn't realize was present before him, was now, potentially could be angry at him for what he did. So this is the verse he chanted. And this is ultimately, when we suffer, when devotees suffer, it's not always the most compassionate thing to be like, oh yes, just you don't want to necessarily throw this on a devotee who's in like immense distress. But if somebody has a little bit of, they're not immediately traumatized and they have their wits about them, this is something nice to like let them digest. So repeat after me. My dear Lord, one who earnestly waits for you to bestow your causeless mercy upon him, all the while patiently suffering the reactions of his past misdeeds and offering you respectful obeisances with his heart, words, and body, is surely eligible for liberation, for it has become his rightful claim. So know that the Lord's mercy is coming. It's actually all of your rightful claim, but we have to patiently suffer the reactions of our past misdeeds. But that actually is something that we have to also take a little responsibility for our life. And that's not easy for a lot of people. We love to live in blame culture. It's everyone else's fault but mine. I could not have done anything wrong. Does that sound familiar for any phases in your life? I could never take responsibility for anything as a kid. It was always somebody else's fault. It's just, I could never ever fathom the idea that I could ever have done something, took a wrong step. It was always, do you ever hear this a lot? Oh, you're just lucky, or you're just unlucky, things like that. Caius, what's up?
Yeah, that's how you are as a kid. It's just how you are.
And it's maybe how we were, but I don't know if we have to be like that. With a little bit of knowledge, we could actually be like, you know what, maybe the reason things are going a certain way in my life has something to do with how I act. This is called taking responsibility. Not easy for kids to do, but it's very important for adults to do. So we're actually, this is something that we need to do. We have to take a little responsibility and be like, okay, whatever is happening, whatever is going on, this is part of my process, and this is part of just what I'm to deal with in this life. And even though it may not be comfortable, this is part of my path. And ultimately, one of the angles of vision, the shift, is that this is actually the mercy of the Lord. Prabhupada is a nice purport in I believe the 12th canto, or 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to find it on the spot like this. But basically, he's actually saying that especially when we've cultivated a little devotion in our life, and we've all done it, you're all chanting, actually the sufferings that we're getting from here on out are like minimized to like a crazy small amount compared to what we deserve. Like all the sinful things we've ever done in the past deserve a nice hefty reaction. But when you take to the devotional path, Krishna still wants to help teach you some things, but he minimizes everything, and then that it comes in such a way that it helps you go deeper to him. And actually, we should see everything as the Lord's mercy upon us. Like, wow, this is a really valuable lesson for me. I don't know where he is, but there was a student here, Madhu, who just crashed his car the other day. Like, pretty bad crash, actually. Like, it's crazy that him and Meghna and Parth were in the car. And it's crazy that you're all like so okay to see like a crash like that, actually. And we were just shocked. It happened Wednesday night. And but Madhu disclosed that he felt like Krishna was redirecting him, especially maybe to take this time period a little bit more seriously, and this retreat a little bit more seriously. I don't know where he went though, but that's okay. But I thought it was a very mature way to see that what could have been really traumatic. It's a beautiful car, a very expensive car, as well. But to see him take it in such a positive way was inspiring. Similarly, in my life, at the time, I couldn't fathom how it was, but some really traumatic experiences for me were the best propellers forward for me to take the next steps in my spiritual life. So you actually, whenever you're going through difficulty, yes, it's difficult, and yes, it may stink, and you might need a support system through it. But actually, it's an opportunity. Everyone has a wonderful opportunity in front of them to surrender deeper to the Lord, to make that spiritual connection, to go a little further. I mean, one great example I'm noticing is we have our student Prerna here. And when Prerna came in the beginning, I could tell she had about had it with the world around her. She was just about like on the edge of like, really like losing faith in a lot. But she came with Madhu for a little car puja for the brand new car that he got at the beginning of the month. And we, did a little car puja, and she decided she wanted to come to Mangal Arati every day since. And she has come every single day since we met her, which is pretty strange that you just meet someone. They're like, yeah, I'm going to come over every day. And we're like, yeah, come over every day. But it's been a wonderful blessing to have her every day. But I'm just seeing her, and now she's been telling us all the realizations, and maybe she can tell all you guys. But she was just telling my wife and I all the realizations, how she's so grateful that, she was able to find this path and this process, and that it was able to show her solutions to the problems, not only diagnose her problems, but show her solutions, in which most people don't have that. They just have problems, and then they have no idea, and they don't want to take responsibility at all for their problems. But you have solutions, I promise you. And the Lord he's guiding you with these challenges to show you there are solutions for this. There is a very real solution. Don't just think it's like just how it is. Like, there is a solution for this. And it's actually in here, in your own angle of vision, how you're looking at it. That's really all it is, actually. Because everything can be like a really merciful experience. Even getting arrested, even so many traumas. I mean, listen, there's so many really hard things people deal with, one thing that comes to my mind immediately is the concept of even something as horrible as like sexual abuse, or people getting like, I don't know if this is a great conversation with all the kids, but people having really horrible traumatic experiences. And especially in the West, we're like, we hold on to trauma and we broadcast our trauma, and we like really flout it a bit. Like, this happened to me, I'm a survivor, and this, but I was hearing something about, if something like that happens to someone in like a less fortunate countries where people don't have a voice and people don't really have that opportunity, they kind of just have to like brush it off and just move on. They don't have that huge support system or any type of societal support system at all. But I actually think that's to their benefit in many ways, that they can, hey, there's Madhu. We're just talking about you, glorifying how you responded to difficult situations in your life. So that's part of it. We just have to accept what's happened and try and move forward. Someone asked a really nice question this morning: how do we deal with where we make a misstep or a mistake? And it's kind of related, not to say, we have no idea where something's coming from, how many lifetimes it's coming from. We do know that there is karma, and that everything that's coming, as Brahma is saying, is a reaction to our past misdeed. But not that we should throw this in everyone's face, like, oh, your friend just had something tough happen. You're like, well, what did you do wrong? Like, that's not the approach to do it. It's not, compassionate. But maybe, you can listen to them, you can help them. And if they're ready for them, there are solutions. There are angles at which we can maturely see these tough things that are happening. So, we can all agree, though, that we all want the causeless mercy of the Lord, right? This is what Brahma is wanting. Is this what you guys think you would like? Who here does not want the causeless mercy of the Lord acting upon their lives? All right, who here does want that? All right, it should be everyone. Please get the mercy of the Lord. Bhagavad Gita, verse 2, chapter 2, verse 64. Okay. Oh, I'm connected. All right. I was waiting for Parth. Yeah, why not? Thank you, the guy again. Here we go. So repeat after me. One who can control Go down. One who can control his senses by practicing the regulated principles of freedom can obtain the complete mercy of the Lord and thus become free from all attachment and aversion. Now we talked about actually last night, actually maybe 2 nights ago, is that when we contemplate the objects of the senses in this world, that's what causes us to form an attachment to them. But now, a few verses later, Krishna is telling us that if we can control our senses and practice certain regulated principles of freedom, let's go up to the verse. We're not going to do the purport. It's a short one. Do you want to? It looks like. All right. Parth is hungry for knowledge. It is already explained that one may externally control the senses by some artificial process. But unless the senses are engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord, there is every chance of a fall. Although the person in full Krishna consciousness may apparently be on the sensual plane, because of his being Krishna conscious, he has no attachment to sensual activities. The Krishna conscious person is concerned only with the satisfaction of Krishna and nothing else. Therefore, he is transcendental to all attachment. If Krishna wants, the devotee can do anything which is ordinarily undesirable. And if Krishna does not want, he shall not do that which he would have ordinarily done for his own satisfaction. Therefore, to act or not to act is within his control, because he acts only under the direction of Krishna. This consciousness is the causeless mercy of the Lord, which the devotee can achieve in spite of his being attached to the sensual platform. So, go also to the next verse. This is going to take us to the conclusion here. For one who is so situated by controlling the senses and practicing the regulated principles of freedom and obtaining the Lord's mercy, for one who is so situated in the divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence, we talked about them at the beginning, exist no longer. Now, so repeat after me. For one who is so situated in the divine consciousness, the threefold miseries of material existence exist no longer. In such a happy state, one's intelligence soon becomes steady. So this is Krishna's instructions. This is kind of Krishna's desires, that we control our senses. We don't activate so heavily with the objects of the senses that this world has to offer. That we really more so focus on Him, on God, on the spiritual reality, actually, that is really underlying even this shiny world around us, that will also disappear in due time. So we're going to do a little exercise here. We're going to give you guys a little bit of time. And there's a couple things I want to you guys to meditate on. One, you know what? Give me that so you can look at it. One, how are we sabotaging ourselves and not giving ourselves to a chance to overcome struggles? What adjustments can we make to be in a more conducive environment? And the last is, how can we see the Lord's merciful hand in our respective situations? So let's have like a little breakout group. Maybe we can divide the room in quadrants of 4. Let's have a group of 4 over here, or not this side of the room scoot over here, this side of the room scoot back to the back left, back right over there, and then let's have a front right group here as well. So what's that?
We recording? I see that.
We are recording, so I'm gonna yeah, maybe that's a good idea. Maybe I should end the recording. Thanks, Mary.